Have you ever met a person for the first time and been like, wow, this person is super likable, super genuine, and I just want to continue having a conversation with them? I know that I've had that experience, but I've also had the opposite experience as well. That other experience being they start speaking and you're just like, dear Lord, how can I make an excuse, or what excuse can I make to leave ASAP? This person is rude, they talk about themselves too much, and to be honest, they're just annoying. Why is that? Why are there two different people that you can talk to, and how can you be more like the first one rather than the crappy second one? In this video, I'm going to be going over the 3-step system that took me from being hated to most people wanting to continue to have hour-long conversations with me, and on the other side where I could pretty much get whatever I wanted. And of course, if you stick till the end of this video, I am going to be giving you the one hack that changed my first impression forever. Now, step number one of this is going to be nonverbal communication. What are you doing with your gestures, with your hands? Another big question is, what does your appearance look like? What are you coming off as soon as you meet somebody? Another big one is, where are you looking? These three are super, super important. Where are you looking? What are your gestures? And of course, what does your appearance look like? And I'm gonna give you 3 simple things that you can really fix for this, because most people don't have this down, and I wanna be able to help you. I know I didn't have it down when I first started. So let's start with the first one. What are you doing with your hands? Now, this is super important because when you meet somebody, it's very important that you give off a warm and welcoming vibe. Now, of course, on a sales call, most of the time it's going to be on Zoom, so they can see this, right? If you're on the phone, this probably is not gonna work, but the other two are. But in person, this definitely works. One of the big things, and I forget what it's called, the psychological term for it, because I'm not a psychology major, but I know that when I do this with my hands every time, not this, but putting them out in front and just saying, hey, how are you, right? This is very opening, very warm, very welcoming. And that is a super, super big deal to do as a gesture with your hands. If you can do this, this is already gonna make your first impression 10 times better. Now, of course, jumping into the second one on step number 1, what does your appearance look like? This is extremely important. Most people, when you first meet them, maybe they have some baggy clothes on, maybe they don't have the right things on, maybe they don't have a haircut, whatever the case may be. Here's what I advise you to do, and this is something I do every single week. Speaking of, I need to go do it right now. Getting a haircut, and not just any ordinary haircut from the nearest supercuts. You need to go to a barber. They will line you up, they'll make it look so much better, and you'll look 10 times cleaner. Now, is it going to be more expensive? Yes, it is, but you should really care about your first impression, because it's going to be what people think of you, and also it's going to make you more money if you're in sales. Now, another big thing with your clothes. This, for example, is an oversized t-shirt, right? With these, go get them tailored. There's actually multiple different tailoring companies inside of your town. I can almost guarantee it, unless you live in the middle of nowhere, then I can't guarantee it, but you can get your clothes tailored for like $20. Go get them tailored. It's simple things. You don't have to buy super expensive clothes. You don't have to go buy Gucci and all this kind of stuff. You can go buy a simple t-shirt, get it tailored to specifically fit you, and that will go a long way. And then the last one, of course, in this step number 1 is, where are you looking? If you're on a Zoom call, for example, you need to be looking in their eyes. Now, of course, on a Zoom call, you can't look into their eyes, but you can look directly at the camera like I'm doing right now. That makes such a big deal because it shows multiple things. Number 1, you're making eye contact, which shows you're very confident. Number 2, this also shows that you're actively listening when they speak because you're looking directly at them. Now, of course, in person, you should be making eye contact directly. And I know for some people that's actually scary, but one thing that you can do that I did was look right in between their nose. So I'm not directly making eye contact, but it looks like I am. And of course, I'm paying very close attention to every word that they say. That's super important. And that's actually a next step that I'll go into a little bit later. Moving on to make your first impression a little bit better is step number 2, which is verbal or tonality. What are you doing with your tone? This is extremely important on a first impression. Most of the time, what works for me is I am trying to be super soft, super warm, and super kind, because I want the person to know that I'm listening to, that's in front of me, that I am here to help, especially in sales. There's too many salespeople that are pressured pressure, they talk too much, their energy level is really, really high. And I think that does work for some people, but for me and most of the people that I've trained in my experience, it just doesn't work. One thing that works for me is being warm, being welcome, having a softer tone, and most importantly, showing that I'm here, I'm genuine, and I just want to serve you and help you. That's it for step number 2. Super simple, super easy, but here's how you can fix your tonality. Some people watching this video will be really monotone, so they'll just sound like this the whole time, or they'll be super energy level, super high pitched, like, wow, that's absolutely amazing. If you want to change that and you want to be warmer, you want to be softer, and you want that person to know that you're there to help, all you need to do is just lower your tone. And here's how I did it. One of the big things that I did is I was thinking about, this person in front of me has probably been through a lot in their life. Some really happy and some not so happy. I want to kind of match that not so happy to show that I'm warm, I'm welcoming, and you can trust me because I've been through it too. Now, how would you talk to somebody if they're going through something that's not that good? You would soften your tone. You'd say, hey, I'm so sorry that you went through this, that you went through that. And that's how I kind of found that tone. And that helped me so much. That made my first impression go from, I don't really want to talk to this guy, to I have to tell him everything about my life. And I know it'll help you too. Step number 3. And I'm telling you, this is probably the most important one of all. But before I get into it, real quick, just want to shout out the sponsor of this video, which is me, of course, and Simply Close. If you are wanting to actively learn sales, get really, really good training in sales, and make sure that you can land your next opportunity and start making anywhere between 6, 10, and 20K a month, there is a link in the description below. It's a free training video. Just go check it out, watch that free training video, and go from there. Now, with that being said, let's dive right back into it. The last step, which again is the most important of all, is listening. I put this one last for a reason, because all of the other ones are in succession. You need to make sure you're taking care of your appearance. You need to have welcoming and good gestures to say hello. And of course, you have to have a really good tonality. But after you've done all that and you've made that initial good first impression, the second portion of this first impression is what matters the most, because now it's your time to shut up and stop talking. Listen to people. Listen to what they're going to tell you. Listen to what's happening, especially in sales. It's super, super important. You need to be able to just listen and stop talking. And here's how you can become an expert at listening. One thing that I did that was super prominent was, what words are they saying? And I want you to really dial in on that. What words are they saying? What does that specific word mean? Why are they saying it this way? Why are they choosing to use those words? All of these are expert listening tactics, and they're super, super important. Another big thing that you can do while you're listening to what they're saying is look at their gestures. Look at the things they're doing. Do they take care of themselves? Why or why not? Right? Because you can start to really gauge who it is you're speaking to and why they're saying what they're saying. And then last, to become an expert listener is process what they're saying and show them. Nod your head when they're saying certain things. If they say something super exciting, say, wow, I never thought of that before. Acknowledge what they're saying actively with gestures and of course with verbal communication. That's going to be super important because it really shows that you are actually listening to what they're saying. And of course, when you're trying to actively do this and you're trying to show that you are listening, one big thing is try and do things that will boost that other person's confidence. I never thought of that, right? That will immediately boost their confidence to make them feel more confident, to make them want to speak to you more. And of course, that will make them open up much further, especially in sales, but in life in general. That is super, super important. All right, so now that you've gotten to the end of the video, I hope you've enjoyed all of that. And real quick, do me a favor, hit that like and subscribe button if you have enjoyed it, and hit the notifications bell if you want to see more videos like this. You've waited till the very end, so I've got the special one hack that changed everything for me in my first impression, and I know it will change yours too. You ready? Here's the hack. Understand that when you're speaking with somebody and when you're making a first impression, it's all about the other person and it's not about you. That's it. Start being selfless rather than being selfish. We live in a world today where so many people only care about themselves. And if you can be that one different person that is very selfless, you put their needs first, you listen to them first, you want them to actively tell you everything about their life, you are going to make such a first impression. It's insane. It will change the viewpoint of what they have towards you. It will change their experience because most of the people that they've spoken to are selfish. If you can be that one person that puts them first ahead of you, I promise you that will make all the difference in the world. And that is the one thing that absolutely changed my life when it comes to sales and normally when I'm speaking to people is putting them ahead of me, listening to their needs, listening to the things that they say, boosting their confidence when I'm listening. Those are all super important, and what that will do is it will make people like you more because you put them ahead of you. I hope that helped. I hope you absolutely found this video super valuable, and if you did, if you liked that hack, if you've ever used that hack, let me know down in the comments below, and I look forward to seeing you on my next video.